Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Destiny of Oracles. I hope you're all doing well. Before we begin, remember that this is a general love forecast for the week ahead, so please take what resonates and simply leave the rest. Energies can always be reversed, and not every message will be for everyone, so trust your own intuition above everything else. Also, don't forget to check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs because sometimes your other placements may resonate even more strongly than your sun sign. And if you have somebody specific on your mind, you may even want to cross watch their sign as well. So I don't know why, but this energy surrounding this week already feels incredibly interesting. I feel like for many of you, something has been kind of hidden, delayed, or left unresolved, and it may finally begin to reveal itself. There is definitely an energy of shifting dynamics, changing perspectives, and emotional truths coming to the surface. So let's not waste more time. Let's jump straight into Aries and let's see what this week has in store for your love life. So for Aries, let's see, we have got the Moon card in reverse, we have got the Justice card in reverse, and we have got the Four of Pentacles. Okay, Aries, this week feels like a week of emotional revelations, whether you are ready for them or not. Okay, so the biggest energy I'm seeing is that something that has been hidden or avoided can no longer stay in the dark. With the moon energy in the reverse, I feel like many of you are finally seeing a situation, a person, or even your own feelings much more clearly. Some truths may come to light this week, and honestly, I don't think everyone involved is going to be comfortable with these truths. But the biggest challenge for you, Aries, is going to be dealing with some unresolved issues because the justice energy in reverse also tells me that there may be some lingering resentment, some unanswered questions, or a feeling that something wasn't handled fairly. As an Aries, you like directness and clarity, but this week you may feel frustrated if you don't immediately get the answers you're looking for. What's interesting is also the presence of the Four of Pentacles here that tells me that either you or your person is still holding on very tightly to this connection. Somebody here is afraid to let go, but they are also afraid to fully open up. And that's the contradiction I'm seeing. So by the end of the week, I don't see complete closure yet, but I do see emotional truths becoming impossible to ignore. Somebody may continue watching you from a distance or holding back feelings they haven't fully processed. So, in trusting with Aries, pay attention to what it is revealed because once the truth comes out, it cannot be unseen. So, now let's move on to Taurus. Let's see what we have got for Taurus. We have got the Lover's card in reverse, and we have got the Judgment, and we have got the Seven of Swords. Well, Taurus, this week feels like a major turning point in your love life, and honestly, I don't think you or your person can continue avoiding the truth much longer. The biggest energy I'm seeing is the inner conflict and the difficult choices because with the lover's energy in reverse, there may be emotional distance, there may be a misalignment or a relationship situation that isn't flowing naturally right. For some of you, somebody is questioning a past decision or wondering whether they made the right choice. The biggest challenge in this week is honesty because the Seven of Swords here tells me that something may still be hidden, avoided, or left unsaid. And as a Taurus, you value loyalty and stability, so inconsistency or secrecy may particularly be triggering for you this week. I don't fully trust this energy because somebody may be trying to avoid a very difficult conversation or escape accountability. But here's also the interesting part because we have got the judgment and it is showing me that a wake up call is happening. Somebody is being forced to reflect onto the past, revisit old emotions, or reconsider a connection they thought was over. The shocking part is that your person may be realizing that they cannot simply walk away from the situation emotionally. So by the end of the week, I do see an important realization taking place. Whether this leads to communication or not, somebody can no longer pretend that they don't care. The tables may be turning in ways that neither of you expected. That's interesting, Victorious. I don't think the story is over yet. So you need to pay attention to who suddenly reappears or reaches out. Okay, so now let's move to Gemini. So we have got the Fool energy, and we have got the Seven of Wands in reverse, and the Five of Wands. Gemini, this week feels intense, and honestly, I think many of you are standing at the edge of a completely new chapter of life and love. The biggest energy I'm seeing here is the desire for a fresh start because the Fool's energy tells me that neither of you or your person is craving freedom, new experiences, or a completely different approach to love. As a Gemini, you're naturally curious and always evolving, and I feel like many of you are no longer willing to stay in situations that keep you stuck. The biggest challenge in this week is conflict. The Five of Wands tells me that there may be tension, competition, or mixed signals, or simply too many opinions getting involved in your love life. And honestly, Gemini, your tendency to overthink may make this even more complicated because you could find yourself going back and forth between multiple possibilities. What's interesting is also the presence of Seven of Wands here, and that too in reverse, because that tells me that somebody is getting tired of fighting. The shocking part is that this person who has been defensive, distant, or resistant may finally begin lowering their guard. The tables could be turning this week. So by the end of the week, I do see an opportunity for a new beginning or a different approach to an existing connection. However, this will require somebody to stop viewing love as a battle and start approaching it with honesty and vulnerability. Interesting week, Gemini. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody unexpected lets their walls down before the week is over. Okay, now let's move on to Cancer. Let's see what I have for my Cancerians. We have got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. We have got the Eight of Cups in reverse. And we have got the Two of Pentacles. So, Cancer, this week feels emotionally confusing, and honestly, I don't think somebody has fully let go of this connection, even if they are trying to convince themselves otherwise. The biggest energy I am seeing is unfinished emotional business because the Eight of Cups in reverse tells me that either of you or your person is struggling to walk away completely. As a Cancer, you're naturally nostalgic and deeply emotional. So once you truly care about someone, it's not easy for you to simply detach. I feel like old feelings or unresolved emotions may resurface this week. The biggest challenge here is uncertainty because with the Two of Pentacles here, somebody is going back and forth trying to decide what to do next. There may be, inconsistency, mixed signals, or difficulty balancing love with other responsibilities. I don't fully trust this energy because somebody seems unable or unwilling to make a clear decision. What's interesting here is the presence of this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It suggests that a missed opportunity, delay, or lack of stability may be affecting this connection. The shocking part is that somebody may fear that they have already missed their chance with you, or you may be questioning whether this connection can truly offer the security you need. But I feel like by the end of the week, I don't see a final decision being made yet. But I do see somebody is continuing to weigh their options like very carefully. Emotional distance may still exist, but I don't think your story is over. Somebody is having a very difficult time letting go. So, Cancerians, pay attention to recurring thoughts, memories, or unexpected messages because the past may not be finished with you yet. Okay, let's move on to Leo. Let's see what we have got for Leo in the love forecast this week. So we have got the Hanged Man, and we have got the Three of Cups in reverse, and we have got the Page of Swords. Leo, this week feels like a week of observation, a week of reflection and hidden truths. And honestly, I don't think that somebody is being as emotionally detached as they appear. The biggest energy I'm seeing is stagnation. With the Hangman showing up, it feels like the situation in your love life has been paused or delayed. But there's one thing, Leo. I don't think that this pause is permanent. I think somebody is being forced to see this connection from a completely different perspective. As a Leo, I know pride can sometimes keep you holding your ground, but this week you may require to look at the situation in a new way. The biggest challenge this week is emotional distance or social interference because the Three of Cups in reverse could indicate some misunderstandings, gossips, or a third party influence for some of you, or simply a disconnect between two people who are struggling to get up to the same page. Something doesn't fully add up here. Now, the Page of Swords in reverse. This is here where things become interesting. The shocking part is that somebody is watching, observing, or gathering information from a distance. Your person may be keeping a very close eye on you, even if they're not actively communicating. Somebody here wants answers, but they may not be ready for a direct conversation yet. So by the end of the week, I don't see any major action. Okay, but I do see increased curiosity and a shift in perspective. Somebody who has been silent or distant may become much more interested in what's happening in your life. So, Leos, pay attention to subtle signs, your social media activity, or unexpected curiosity from somebody because I don't think you are forgotten as you think so. Okay, interesting. Okay, now let's move to Virgos. Let's see what we have got for the Virgos What's in the love forecast for this coming week? So we have got the King of Pentacles and the High Priestess in reverse and the Queen of Cups. So Virgos, this week feels incredibly significant in love because I see a powerful combination of emotional depth and long term potential, but I also feel like something hidden is coming to the surface. The biggest energy I'm seeing is stability and commitment. The King of Pentacles tells me that either of you or your spouse or your person is thinking seriously about the future. This doesn't feel like casual energy at all. Somebody here wants something real, dependable, and lasting. And as a Virgo, you naturally seek consistency and security in relationships. And I feel like those themes will be especially important for you this week. The biggest challenge for this week is honesty and trusting your intuition. With the presence of this high priestess in reverse, I feel like there may be secrets, unspoken feelings, or information that has not yet been revealed. So, workers, your tendency to overanalyze may be heightened this week because deep down, I think you already know that something isn't being fully expressed. So, I'll advise you don't ignore your intuition. What's interesting here is also the presence of the Queen of Cups because this tells me that there is genuine emotional depth here. The shocking part is that somebody may be feeling much more deeply than they are currently showing. Your person could be trying to maintain control on the surface while privately experiencing very strong emotions. So by the end of the week, I do see emotional clarity increasing. Somebody may become more emotionally available, reveal their feelings, or finally acknowledge the emotions they have been that have been, really difficult to express. But the contradiction here is that while somebody wants stability, they may still be afraid of complete emotional vulnerability. Interesting. So, Virgos, pay attention to your intuition because I don't think your inner voice is wrong. And somebody's true feelings may become much more harder to hide before the week is over. Okay, let's move to Libras. Spirit, please guide me. What's in for the love forecast for Libras for the coming week? Okay, Libras, we have got the Seven of Pentacles for you and the Eight of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. Too many pentacles here. Okay. So Libra, this week feels steady, reflective, and surprisingly important for your love life because I see somebody seriously thinking about the future of this connection. The biggest energy I'm seeing is patience and evaluation. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse tells me that either you or your person has been investing a lot of time, energy, and emotion into this situation and is now asking, is this truly worth it? And as a Libra, you naturally seek balance and harmony, but this week, you may find yourself carefully weighing whether your emotional investments are being reciprocated or not. The biggest challenge this week is decision making because the Two of Wands here tells me that somebody is standing at crossroads. There are choices to be made, plans to consider, or future possibilities to explore. And honestly, Libra, your tendency to avoid the difficult decisions in order to keep the peace could make this energy feel a little uncomfortable. What's interesting is also the presence of the Eight of Pentacles, because this tells me that somebody genuinely wants to put effort into this connection. The shocking part is that a person who may have seemed distant or inconsistent could begin showing through actions that they're willing to work on the things. So this feels much more action oriented than just the empty words. The contradiction here that I'm seeing is that somebody wants progress, but they may still be hesitant about fully committing to the direction. There is effort here, but there is also some caution. So by the end of the week, I do see movement and forward planning, conversations about the future, rebuilding the trust, or deciding where this connection could be heading. And this is very important. So Libra, pay attention to the actions rather than promises, because somebody may finally start showing you where you truly stand in their life. Okay, now let's move on to Scorpio. For Scorpios, we have got the Ace of Swords in reverse. We have got the Six of Cups in reverse. And we have got the Knight of Wands. So Scorpio, this week feels really intense to me. I feel this week is not only just intense, it's confusing also, because honestly, I don't think everybody involved is being completely honest about what they truly want. The biggest energy I am seeing is confusion and a lack of clarity. With the Ace of Swords in reverse, there may be misunderstandings, unspoken truths, or a conversation that desperately needs to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. I know that as a Scorpio, you naturally sense when something is off, and I think your intuition is going to be very strong this week. So don't ignore it. Your biggest challenge is letting go of the past. Because the Six of Cups in reverse tells me that old wounds, unresolved memories, or lingering resentment may still be influencing this connection. So for some of you, somebody is trying to move on but hasn't fully succeeded. And for others, a past person may still be energetically present, even if there has been some sort of physical distance in between two of you. And also the presence of the Knight of Wands is where things become really interesting, because somebody who has been inconsistent, distant, or difficult to pin down may suddenly reappear or make a very bold move. This energy feels passionate, fast moving, impulsive. But the contradiction here, what I see is that the Knight of Wands can bring excitement, attraction, and sudden communication, but it can also indicate somebody who rushes in without a long-term plan. So by the end of the week, I do see movement, I do see communication, or a sudden shift in the connection. However, Scorpio, your challenge will be deciding whether this person's actions are truly consistent or whether they are simply acting on their impulse. So Scorpions, I don't think the story is over yet, but I need you to make sure that your passion isn't distracting you from the truth. Okay, let's move on for the weekly love horoscope or love forecast for my Sagittarians. Let's see what we have got. For the cards we have got for them, we have got the Empress in reverse, we have got the World card, and we have got the Ten of Wands. Okay, so Sagittarians, this week feels like the closing of one of the chapter and beginning of another. But I don't think that this transition is happening without any emotional pressure. Because the biggest energy here I'm seeing is completion and some major change with the presence of this world card here. Many of you are reaching the end of a cycle in love. Something is coming full circle, whether this means closure, reconciliation, or simply a new understanding of a situation. I do feel like an important chapter is wrapping up. The biggest challenge this week is emotional exhaustion, because the Ten of Wands here tells me that somebody has been carrying far too much for too long. As a Sagittarius, I know you value your freedom and optimism, but this week you may realize that you have been taking on your emotional burdens that no longer belong to you. What's interesting is also the presence of this Empress energy in reverse. It tells me that self worth, nurturing, or imbalance in giving and receiving love may become a major theme. The shocking part is that somebody may suddenly realize that they have been overgiving, they are underappreciated, or neglecting their own needs in order to maintain the connection. So, the contradiction I'm seeing here is that while one cycle is ending, another opportunity is beginning. Somebody may finally recognize that continuing the same patterns will no longer work. So, by the end of the week, I do see release and completion. You may finally let go of an old burden, close a chapter, or make peace with something that has been weighing heavily on your heart. So, Sagittarius, pay attention to what you're finally ready to release, because letting go of one burden may create space for something that is much more healthier to enter into your life. Okay, let's move on to the love forecast for the Capricorns. We have got the Three of Swords in reverse. We have got the Temperance card in reverse. And we have got the Three of Pentacles. So, Capricorn, this week feels like healing, a healing week in love. But I don't think that the healing process is completely smooth just yet. The energy that I am seeing is recovery and rebuilding. Because the presence of Three of Swords in reverse tells me that either you or your person is beginning to heal from a past pain, a heartbreak, or a disappointment. I know as a Capricorn you tend to suppress your emotions and push forward, but this week you may realize that certain wounds, they still need attention before you can fully move on. So the biggest challenge of this week is balance. With the Temperance card in reverse, I feel like something in your love life may feel out of sync. There could be impatience, there could be emotional extremes, or difficulty finding some common ground with somebody. And Capricorn, because you're naturally very disciplined and cautious, you may become really frustrated uh, as if the things are not progressing. You may become frustrated if the things are, stagnant and not moving as logically as you would like them to move. Also, what's interesting to me is the presence of this Three of Pentacles, because that tells me that there is some genuine potential for cooperation, teamwork, and rebuilding. The shocking part is that somebody who was previously distant or emotionally unavailable may begin showing signs that they want to work on the connection rather than, just walk away from it. But because healing is taking place, not everyone is fully healed yet. This is the contradiction that I'm seeing. Somebody wants progress, but unresolved emotions could still create temporary setbacks. So by the end of the week, I do see opportunities for honest conversations. I see compromise or rebuilding trust. This feels like a week where efforts matter more than, the grand gestures. Okay. So pay attention, Capricorns, to who consistently shows up for you because actions and not words will reveal who is truly invested in this connection. Okay, let's see what we have got for Aquarius. So we have got the Page of Cups in reverse. We have got the Eight of Swords in reverse. And we have got the Ten of Swords in reverse. So Aquarius, this week feels like a breakthrough week in love. And honestly, I think many of you are finally freeing yourself from a situation that has kept you emotionally stuck for a very long time. The biggest energy I'm seeing is emotional release. Because with both the Eight of Swords in reverse and the Ten of Swords in reverse, I feel like somebody is beginning to heal, let go, or finally see a situation from a very different perspective. But this week, I think you are being asked to actually process what you have been feeling rather than, simply analyzing it. So, the biggest challenge in this week is the emotional expression because the Page of Cups in reverse. This tells me that somebody may still struggle to communicate the feelings very openly. There could be immaturity, fear of vulnerability, or emotions being expressed in indirect ways. But I still don't fully trust this energy because somebody may care deeply but still have some sort of difficulty showing it. Also, the shocking part is that the person who seemed the most detached may actually be the one struggling the most internally. Somebody here is trying to break free from old pain, regrets, or limiting beliefs, but they may not yet know how to reconnect emotionally. The contradiction that I am seeing here is that while healing is taking place, emotional communication still feels blocked. Somebody wants to move forward, but they may not know how to bridge the gap. So by the end of the week, I do see significant emotional progress. A heavy cycle is beginning to close, and many of you finally feel lighter, clearer, and more emotionally empowered than you have in the quite some time. So Aquarians, please do pay attention to the subtle signs and emotional gestures because somebody who struggles to express feelings directly may still be trying to show you who they actually are and to show you that they care about you. Okay? So let's move on to our last zodiac star, the Pisces. Let's see what we have got in the weekly love forecast for the Pisces. So we have got the Seven of Cups in reverse. We have got the Star card. And we have got the Queen of Pentacles. So, Pisces, this week feels incredibly beautiful for love because I see clarity, healing, and emotional stability entering into your love life in a way that may surprise you. So, the energy I'm seeing here is clarity and a renewed hope because the Seven of Cups in reverse tells me that the confusion is finally beginning to lift. As a Piscean, you can sometimes idolize people or get lost in the possibilities, but this week, I feel like you are seeing a person or a situation for what it truly is. And honestly, that's a good thing because it allows you to make much healthier choices. The challenge for this week is trusting that what you truly desire is possible. The star card is a beautiful energy. The star card is energy of healing, hope, and emotional renewal. But sometimes, after disappointment, it can be difficult to believe that love can still work out. So, Pisces, don't allow any past experiences to convince you that you must settle for something less than that you deserve. What's interesting here is the presence of the Queen of Pentacles because that tells me that stability, security, and genuine care are becoming major themes for you this week. The shocking part is that somebody may begin showing up in a much more consistent and a reliable way than they have in the past. So, for some of you, this could even represent a person who is finally ready to offer something real. The contradiction that I'm seeing is that while your heart wants to dream, this week you are being asked to ground those dreams in reality. And honestly, I think that's exactly what will bring you the happiness that you have been looking for. So by the end of the week, I do see emotional clarity, healing, and a stronger sense of stability in your love life. This feels like a week where hope is restored and where many of you begin to move towards a healthier and a more fulfilling connection. So, Pisceans, pay attention to who consistently brings you peace because this week stability may prove to be far more romantic than uncertainty. So that completes our weekly love horoscope for all the zodiac signs. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Free will always exists, and your choices ultimately shape your future. If this reading resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your zodiac sign and what is happening in your love life because I absolutely love reading your comments. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Destiny of Oracles. Take care of yourself, trust your intuition, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye bye.